Hey Grandpa, it's Dan. Just creating the video I promised you I'd create. I'm gonna do a flight here from in Vancouver. Um, and yeah, I'll just kind of give you a quick tour around and we'll go from there. So to start, I've got the flight conditions on live. It's, as you can see, what time it is. Weather isn't great, raining, but you know what? That's okay. It'll make everything a little bit more exciting. I've also got live traffic on, so you've got people in game playing, but you've also got Air Canada flights, Air Canada Jazz flights here flying around. So I think this will be a fun little flight. The plane I have selected is let's see here, it is a Diamond DA40. This is the one here, yeah, DA40 here. Here's all the planes you can select in the game. I like the DA40. It's just the easiest to fly, best for sightseeing and things like that. But all sorts of cool little planes in here, right? And it's interesting little stuff. So, as I mentioned, we will start from Point Roberts and we will fly to Pitt Meadows. We will get started here. In Point Roberts, we're going to start with a cold start, so we're not going to have any. We're not going to have the plane set up or anything like that. I'm going to have to throw in, start the plane up and everything like that. It's not ready to go on the runway or anything like that. So we'll go from there. Anyways, just letting the game load up here. It takes a little bit of time. It's a massive game, suffice to say. So takes its little time. As you might have seen there, flying at cruising altitude, it's only 11 minutes from Point Roberts to Pitt Meadows. That would be amazing if we could go from Pitt Meadows to Point Roberts in 11 minutes, but yeah, flying as the crow flies, I should say, and whatnot. So, we're not going to go directly there. Yeah, as you can see, we got some rain, and here's a little bit of a cinematic view of the plane here in Point Roberts. Alright, so first thing we obviously got to do is get the plane ready to go. So let me see here. What do we need to do here? Turn our engine master on. What else we gotta do here? Let's get, you know what? I need electronic master on. Perfect. Alright. Avionics on. Alright. Hit the fuel pumps. There we go. We got our plane ready to go. So I'll talk a little bit more about the cockpit here once we get flying here. Let's put on a couple lights here. And, Point Roberts doesn't have much of an airport, so, an easy takeoff and whatnot here. So, yeah, let's get started here. So I want to make sure my engine will work here. Alright. Let's get going here. Taking off my parking brakes. That's why I picked this plane. Very, very easy to start up and get going here.
Romeo Lima traffic Diamond Delta Alpha November Lima Golf is taxiing to runway 16.
So just doing a little bit of the air traffic control. Alright, and this is the runway. Of course, it's a grass airport, so That makes things a little bit interesting. Alright. And we're going to depart north. We're going to head up to towards downtown Vancouver, and then we'll go from there. Go east from there. Alright here. Alright, one thing I want to do right before I take off is I do want to set a my autopilot so we can get that. So I'll describe this a little bit more to you here once I get going here. But so we'll put our flight director on. Heading mode is on, and we want flight climb. Actually, we need to put our altitude mode in first. So I'm not exactly sure what the ceiling is for the air, for the. I doubt it's not very high. We might have to fly quite low. 3,000 might be a little bit too high. 3,000 feet. Just setting up here. This will be our altitude for the autopilot once we put it on. Flight climb. So flight climb level is effectively how fast you're going to let the plane fly when you're climbing. So we'll just go 80 knots here to start. It's a flight climb level. So once it hits 80 knots, the plane will pick up as much altitude at 80 knots as it can effectively, depending on how much power you're putting into the engine. So, yeah, let's, I think we're good to go here, so, yeah, let's get going here. Turn off my parking brake. See the outside of the plane here. Should be enough to get us off the ground. It is. And there we go. Point Roberts. So the marina isn't, unfortunately, very well modeled, but you can see right there that's where the marina should be. Of course, I do believe that is Bell's Grove right there. Be your place right there, I guess. Sorry, I gotta straighten out our plane here. We're a little bit wild. Alright. Alright, well, let's hit our autopilot here. Not sure how much altitude it'll give us. I am going to change the heading here. I want us to go a little bit more north. Or more towards downtown Vancouver. So we'll go up this way here. Yeah, we're starting to get quite high, and it's starting to lose visibility here. I don't like that too much, so I'm gonna actually turn off our flight climb here. The plane levels out. Pull off on the throttle a little bit. bit here. And go down to 1,000 feet. Our vertical speed. There we are. That's, you know, Lad, or no, it's Tawasin here. Throttle a little bit here. Alright. You know what, we could probably stick at 1,500 feet actually. Listen to Vancouver ATIS and see what they got to say.
Airport information, Yankee 2200 Zulu. Flight 117 at 6. Visibility, tree and heavy rain. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,200 feet, few clouds at 4,000 feet, few clouds at 11,900 feet. Temperature, 6. Dew point, 10. Altimeter tree 0.06. ILS runway 8 right and ILS runway 8 left in use. Landing and departing runway 8 right and runway 8 left. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have Yankee. Vancouver Airport information Yankee 2200 Zulu. Flight 115 at 5.
I've tuned to Vancouver approach.
Jazz 8417, you are 17 miles east. Descend and maintain 5,100 feet. Expect ILS runway 8 left approach via Encom transition. Clear to Encom.
So yeah, we are kind of heading over to near. We're gonna go past.
Maintain 5,100 feet. Expect ILS runway 8 left approach via Encom transition. Clear to Encom Jazz 8417.
We are flying here past YVR.
5, please expedite your descent to 3,000 feet. Aero Caribbean Niner, you are 700 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain 3,000 feet. Altimeter tree 0.05.
So I'll talk to you a little bit here about the instrument panels here and everything like
Climb
that.
and maintain 3,000 feet. Aero Caribbean Niner.
Very chatty.
Jazz 8195, you are 11 miles west of Vancouver. Contact Vancouver Tower on ONE 28.61 inbound on the approach. Aero Caribbean Niner, traffic is 12 o'clock, 3 miles at 4,300 feet, generic. Report them in sight.
Tower on ONE 28.6 Jazz 8195.
Jazz 8417, please expedite your climb to 5,100 feet.
Alright, this is a bit noisy here. I'm gonna.
Jazz 8417, climb and maintain 5,100 feet.
Switch,
Aero Caribbean Niner, you are...
Pitt Meadows Airport information India 2200
Oh my goodness.
Zulu. Flight ONE 2 a tree. Visibility, tree in heavy rain. Sky condition, few.
switch in here. Trying to get a little bit of a quieter comms here. Anyways, so I'm going to explain a little bit to you about the YVR airport over there. You can see the landing and all that. Unfortunately, the weather's not great here. I did not pick a good day for a flight. take live weather, but you know, that's how it is sometimes. So let's talk a little bit here about about this system.
999 traffic is 2 o'clock 3 miles at 1,600 feet generic. Report them in sight. Jazz 8417 traffic is 10 o'clock 4 miles at 1,600 feet Diamond DA40. Report them in sight. Aero Caribbean 999, please expedite your descent to 3,000 feet.
Jazz 8417 has the traffic.
Aero Caribbean 999 have the generic in sight. Aero Caribbean 999 traffic is 10 o'clock 4 miles at 1,600 feet Diamond DA40. Report them in sight. Aero Caribbean 999 traffic alert. 10 o'clock less than 1 mile 2,800 feet generic. Report them in sight.
So I flew past the airport. They're all talking about my plane. Yeah. So this is what's called the Garmin 100s or 1000 system. Most modern planes come with them now. So they've done away with all the old dials. They are still here. You know, your attitude, your altimeter, your speedometer, right? All that stuff's still here in the plane. But now you're using. You've got a more modern display system here to help you navigate around. And yeah, like it's a it gives it's got an autopilot system. It's got all this great little stuff here. So like I'll show you a little bit about what it can do here. So one of the things it can do is obviously, as I said, an autopilot, and you've got all the autopilot knobs here, right? So you've got your heading knob, so if I want to go into a different direction, in fact we will probably be changing that soon. You change that, you got your autopilot here, your flight director, that just shows you that pink line here. The yellow line is where we're headed, the pink line is where you want to head. So you take the pink line on and off, that's what the flight director does. Your heading mode, whichever direction you want to go. If you want to manually steer the plane wherever you want to go, you can turn the heading off. Otherwise, you tell the heading where to go. You add an altitude selector, so if you want a different height, different altitude, you can do that too. And weather's looking a little bit better out towards your way. Downtown Vancouver. Yeah, so you got your altitude, your nav mode. So if I had a proper flight planned into the system here, I'd hit nav mode and it would just fly the flight path for me, rather than having to select a heading and all that other jazz, right? So, you can see BC Place down there. Heading over towards... You can see downtown. See the old Hotel Vancouver there. So anyways, looks like we're heading into a bit of a rain shaft here. So let me just change the heading here. We probably want to go 90 degrees here, so. Yeah, so you can see the Lionsgate Bridge back there. Of course, Stanley Park, Cole Harbor here. A little bit of downtown Vancouver, of course, Canada Place. Vancouver, North Shore Mountains, Lonsdale there. Anyways, back to the to all this. So VNav, I can't quite recall what VNav's for. I never used it. Approach mode. So if you got an ILS approach, you can the plane, it'll effectively land the plane for you. Back on course mode is just to set the plane back in course. Vertical speed, you saw me use that earlier. So what is a vertical speed? That just sets your plane. Hey, I want the plane to go up 500 feet a minute or down 500 feet a minute, whatever you want to set it to. So it's part of the, obviously, the autopilot system. And then I talked about this earlier, flight level climb mode, and so that sets you know, how fast the plane will climb. You know, if I set it to 880 knots, you know, the plane will gain as much altitude as it can at 80 knots, depending on how much power you're putting into the engine. Speaking of which, I'll put a little bit more power into the engine. So, and then of course we have our, you know, so this kind of system over here, it kind of gives you your where we're headed to. We're headed here to YPK, which is the appropriate heading for or the appropriate airport for which is of course Pitt Meadows Airport. So we are headed there slowly. See Burnaby Mountain over here. Just gonna move the heading a little bit here. We'll go to so WestJet flight right here. Let's pull up Meadows here. I got their own ATIS, so I'll listen to that really quick.
Pitt Meadows Airport Information India 2200 Zulu. Fly now any 2 India tree. Visibility, tree in heavy rain. Sky condition, few clouds at 1,200 feet, few clouds at 4,100 feet, few clouds at 11,800 feet. Temperature, 6. Dew point, 10. Altimeter tree, 0.06. Visual runway, 8 right and visual runway, 8 left in use. Landing and departing runway, 8 right and runway, 8 left. DSR aircraft, say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller, on initial contact, you have India.
I'll just talk to the tower here.
Tower, Diamond Delta Alpha November Lima Golf is 10 miles west with India to land.
So SFU here.
Diamond Delta Alpha November Lima Golf Pitt Meadows Tower. Fly straight and runway 8 right. Altimeter tree 0.0, flight with 12 India tree.
Make straight and runway 8 right, Diamond November Lima Golf.
Low fuel. Oh, you can see the SkyTrain here. This is Clark Road Station here. I believe this is Como Lake here. Yeah, that's Como Lake. So here's obviously Como Lake itself. in the game. And yeah, there's All Saints. All Saints, and that would be your house over there. Look at that. I know it doesn't look exactly like what it should look like, but hey, you know, can't model every building perfectly, but it looks good. All right, so let's get into the airport here. So I need to. I'm gonna turn off the autopilot here.
November Lima Golf cleared to land runway 8 right. Wind calm.
I gotta make a nice. Gotta acknowledge my landing clearance.
Clear to land runway 8 right, Diamond, November Lima Golf.
Start just taking down some altitude here. Okay, I can see the airport right there. Or am I seeing something else? No, that's it. I'm quite sure of it. Still going pretty fast here. Got a very slight crosswind, 2 knots. Put in a little bit of rudder. Putting down the first level of flaps. Last level of flaps here. And a little bit of a rough landing there, but that's okay. We did it. Alright.
Diamond November Lima Golf, turn next taxiway. Diamond November Lima Golf, contact ground on ONE 2 tree decimate.
Going to ONE 2 tree decimate, Diamond, November Lima Golf.
Perfect. Over here.
Pitt Meadows ground, Diamond Delta Alpha November Lima Golf, taxi to parking.
Diamond Delta Alpha November Lima Golf taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Bravo.
Put my flaps back up. Probably should have put my landing lights on. Oh well. I got my taxi light on. Not that I need it. It's pretty bright out.
Diamond November Lima Golf, please acknowledge.
Got to acknowledge my taxi clearance. Not
Taxi
that I'm
to
already
general
there.
Aviation parking via taxiway Bravo, Diamond November Lima Golf.
Here we are. So yeah, this is a easy little flight. There's more other bigger interesting planes I can do, longer flights, you know. Oops. There we go. We're here. Alright, let me put on the parking brake. And let's shut this bad boy off. There we go. And yeah, so there was the flight. So yeah, short flight, 21 minutes, all that jazz. Um, yeah, it was a good one. I hope you enjoyed it. The weather wasn't great, but you know, I like to use the live weather because it's realistic. So there you go. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on another one maybe.